Hi, this is Alcan. Welcome back to my channel. Well, some interesting developments took place on the Long Island Railroad. Seems that somebody's been hitting that cookie jar a little bit too much on the overtime situation. Man, he made a lot of money. He retired with a big ass pension, really big ass pension. Oh, 15 hours a day on the geometry train. That's the train that checks the rails to see if they're in good condition, if there's any cracks or anything. So he gets his big ass check. Meanwhile, me retired, I get a little bitty check. Little bitty. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm going to show you what I got from the beginning. I got one of these from Nisus. I know you can't see it yet. I will show you the numbers. The first check from my retirement is $4,116.67 before taxes, federal taxes. It seems we don't pay city state taxes, but we pay federal, which is $301.67. So out of that, I get total net that's the total net, $3,815. And which I don't understand. See, this is the difference between a transit system under the Taylor law and a transit system under the Federal Railway Administration rules and regulations. They get paid a whole lot more. But here's something I don't understand. There's supposed to be a 10-hour day limit on how much you can make because of FRA rules. New York City Transit employees can work up to 14 hours a day. But even with 14 hours, you can never make that kind of money that that guy on the geometry train made. It's impossible. No, the bean counters in New York City Transit are a lot more tighter than those guys on Long Island Railroad. So obviously, those accounting guys over there, something wrong with them. I don't know what they're sniffing, but whatever it is, I bet you the accountants on New York City Transit don't want nothing to do with them. I mean, the only way I would work 14 hours a day if you're on a work train, but even then, still, nothing like this guy did. And he made $167,000 without the overtime, according to the New York Post. This is information you got from the Empire Group. And on the list they had, I didn't see New York City Transit motor mill conductor on the top 10. And the last time we got a raise is like a little 2%. 2%. You're talking about raise or you're talking about milk? That's what it is, 2%. 2%. 2% couldn't buy you a good night kiss, as somebody would say on Pound 123, the original. So, this is ridiculous. I'm busting my hump in the wrong agency. See? This is not even worth the paper it's written on. That's how ridiculous it is. You complain about transit employee making too much money. No, this is not what's happening. You see all your money is going. You think it's all going to New York City Transit. Not in the employee's pocket. Maybe Long Island Railroad employee's pocket, not ours. We're never going to see money like that. I told them in your post, we will never ever see money like that. Ever. We'll never make money like that. The only way you would ever see money like that if we are out of the Taylor law and back on the FRA rules and regulation, which is never going to happen. It's just ridiculous. How ridiculous is it? The odds of us making the same money like Long Island Railroad employees and the overtime, it's about the same odds that Madonna's going to make a song with Eminem. A big fat zero. I know. What kind of exaggeration is that? Eminem and Madonna making a music song? Eminem said no. That's right. He did. So until Eminem announces he made a song with Madonna, then we will get that kind of money. Before then, no, we will not. I mean, I wish we could make that money, but it's never going to happen. After 50 odd years under the Taylor law, we keep sinking down and down and down and down. Meanwhile, we had to keep giving up stuff in the late 80s and the 90s and the opto and the cuts and all this other garbage. And then getting the abuse and getting assaulted and getting the summer of hell in 2017. The trains are coming apart and the tracks are coming apart and all that stuff. And meanwhile, along a railroad, racking all the big bucks. It's never going to happen. So, I wish people would stop saying, oh, transit are being greedy. We are never going to make that money. Ever. We could be greedy all you want, but it ain't going to happen. You think 2% is money? 2% is milk. They say don't cry over spilled milk. There's barely any milk to spill. So, my argument is, why is it that Long Island Railroad always manage to get into these situations and they can't get out of it? They always get caught and then they don't know what to do. It's like they're running with the pants down on their ankles or the skirts, whatever it is, because we don't want to discriminate. It seems like they put all the controls and the caps on us, transit employees. But when it comes to Metro North Long Island Railroad, the sky's the limit. We're the ones getting the limit. We're the ones getting the shaft. We're the ones getting screwed. And let me tell you something. New York City Transit has more passengers than both of these commuter lines together. We should be making more money than they are, not the other way around. But that's not what's happened. I mean, it's like if all of a sudden you have a flip of the coin and Alex Rodriguez is making minimum wage and they got McDonald's making his salary. You see how ridiculous that sounds? Well, this is what it is. Railroad employees make a lot more money than we are ever going to be making. And let's not kid ourselves. It's never going to happen. Stop saying we're getting greedy, because what's there to get greedy about? You're just going to give us a small amount, but then you want all these big givebacks to come with it to save money. But what's the point of saving money if you're throwing it away into the commuter line? I mean, there is no point. You cut jobs, you cut service, you cut salaries, you cut this, you cut that, you cut everything. You cut underwear if you let them cut it. But they do not do that over there. We're the suckers. We in the New York City Transit employees are the ones being suckered, and the passengers, because we're supporting everybody else. And the only other agency that actually pulls weights around here is the Tribal Bridge and Tunnel Authority, because they rake in money to get the transit, Long Island Railroad, Metro North, wherever else, but it is not equally distributed. We get the short end of the stick. And they get the gravy train. We're not getting no gravy train. No, indeed. When you look at that list from their Empire group, I bet you New York City Transit employees are not even in the top 10. If you're lucky, you hit the top 100. This is so freaking ridiculous. Government's got to straighten this out because there is no reason why some guy doing this geometry train should be making a 15-hour overtime where you got transit employees struggling. It makes no damn sense. And the only reason they get away with it is because the rules are different on that side of the fence. That's all there is to it. So basically, you, the writing public, are the ones getting screwed. Yep, transit employees, the transit riders, you're getting screwed because you're substituting them. Yeah, I know they raise all the fares for us, but the thing is, they want all the cuts and everything on us, but they don't do the cuts on them. So it makes no sense that we are doing all the cutting and they better get a paper cut. So who's fooling who? I know I'm not no Aretha Franklin, but who's zooming who? Okay, you're zooming us. We shouldn't be zoomed. You should be zoomed. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're the ones that came up with this ridiculous MTA. You're the ones that did what you wanted to do. And this is why you have a problem with the Long Island Railroad's overtime. It's out of control. But because you're not like New York City Transit, you let them do what the heck you want. So basically, my beef is both MTA and Long Island Railroad. I mean, some knuckleheads on New York City Transit side should get some of the blame too. Because all the money that they cut in services and all that stuff, in the end, it goes back into the MTA pool, and guess who ends up grabbing that money? You got it, Long Island Railroad. And sometimes Metro North. But it's Long Island Railroad. It's putting the screws. So this is Outcan saying so long for now. Don't forget your stop. And who you right up in Albany, they need to straighten this nonsense out because it's ridiculous. I mean, my ranting and screaming and everything is not going to get me any more money than that. But still, it's just ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, when my pension do go up, it ain't going to go much either. Because guess what? If I take the first option, here's a kicker. Or if you take the first option, when you drop that, your family don't get nothing. I bet you don't have that on Long Island Railroad, do they?